On this episode, we review our recent trip with a stay at the Drury Inn at Disney Springs, as well as lunch at the all-new Disney Springs restaurant, Summer House on the Lake. Today's December 30th, 2023. This is episode 629 of the Main Street Magic Podcast.
Jeremy and Rhonda are more than a little fond of Disney World, so they made this podcast to share it all with you. Reports and resorts, top 10 lists of all sorts. Main Street Magic's bringing it home for you.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Main Street Magic. I am your host, Jeremy Stein, and back with me today is my lovely wife, Rhonda.
Hey, guys.
Make sure you check us out on the web at mainstmagic.com, as well as follow on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at mainstmagic. If you've not done so already, head out to Facebook and search for the Main Street Magic community and ask to join. Then if you go ahead and hit that subscribe button, you get brand new episodes every Tuesday and Friday. If you're planning that trip to Disneyland or Walt Disney World, it can be overwhelming and at times just downright frustrating. But don't worry, because Mouse Dining removes the frustration of booking Disney dining reservations, alerting you when they spot availability for your desired restaurant, date, meal, and time. Visit msmfriends.com to use this free service. Well, hello, my friend. We meet again.
Hello.
It's been a while. Where do we begin? Feels like forever.
It does. I honestly...
Creed, my sacrifice.
Oh, well, I honestly can't remember. And
I'm glad you're back.
I got to thinking, is this over?
No, and we have been really busy.
It is.
So I know
crazy.
we had John on last week. Thank you again, John, always for filling in. And then we did kind of a throwback episode and a little bonus preview of the Christmas Carol that I did with the live podcast show. But we're back in full force. We are recording here right before New Year's Eve weekend and all, and so we'll be back to our
even
regular
late today.
schedule, and it's even late today. So we do apologize, but we are back. We are going to get back on schedule, and we've got a lot of fun stuff coming up. So
Yay!
Today's episode is about our most recent whirlwind trip. It was about a 30-hour long trip. We went down last Thursday.
Oh yeah.
Came home Friday. That does not seem like that was 1 week ago. Like, we're going to talk about Summer House on the Lake was exactly 1 week ago from this moment we were sitting there. And that seems like that was forever ago.
Yeah, it really, really does.
Yeah.
Not going to lie.
So let's start, though, first, and we'll talk about getting down there. We went to Animal Kingdom specifically to go get the ahi tuna nachos at Yak and Yeti. Talked about Fetch, the app where I scan receipts. It takes a full 72 hours for your reward to come to you, literally on the dot. Because our whole plan was to use the $25 gift card reward from Fetch that you can get for Landry's and use it at Yak and Yeti to get the ahi tuna nachos. We ate around like 12:30 or something. Mm-hmm. The reward became available at like 2:30 or something.
It was 4, but yeah.
But it was literally 72 hours. So so just something to note, because I thought I was in the clear when I originally put in the reward. But at least we have a $25 Landry's gift card. Yeah, we can use. You can always use it at Bubba Gump. If we wanted to hop into Bubba Gump when we're at Universal next weekend and try that out. But let's talk a little bit about Yak and Yeti.
Yeah. Well,
what is the craziest thing that has ever happened to us at Disney? Because I think this is it now.
Well, I'm going to start out by saying when we got to Animal Kingdom, it did look very people-y and busy. And you were even trying to look at Nomad, and there was no availability. So you were like, let's just walk up and see. So we did. And it was completely empty. And she's like, yeah, where you want to sit, inside or out? And I'm like, oh my gosh. We sat inside, and the bar was completely open.
I've never seen an empty bar at Nomad.
Crazy. And this was 11?
11-ish?
Something?
Yeah, this was probably 11-ish. So it was shocking. You have something you need to say, honey?
I can't believe you. Jeremy got a tattoo today.
Mm-hmm.
The one I believe, and it was really super sweet. Our dog Jules passed away. I don't know if we talked about this at all.
Yeah, just after Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm. So we got our paw print. But he was joking. Dear God, I can't believe you really did this. You're so random. But he was joking where we always park in the orange garage on level L3, row 5. And recently we were going, and he's joked about, I'm going to get it tattooed on me, so
I'll
I won't ever forget. So we were going, and we were going down that aisle because we always know where our truck is and we won't have to get lost. Well, literally, there was one spot, and it was one that I could fit in, and I was like, we were going to have to park somewhere else. But we did, And he not only came home with Jules's paw print on him today, he also came home with orange L3 row 5.
It's the sign. I took a photo of it because this was last Friday. We were heading back to Summer House.
Weird.
And now we'll never forget. And if we ever show up and L3 row 5 is full, we just turn around and leave. Because otherwise I'll look ridiculous. Let's be honest. That would just be silly. But yeah, so probably most random Disney tattoo ever. If anybody has something more random, please send it to us at Main ST Magic on any of the socials. But anyway, yeah, sat at Nomad Lounge.
Sat at Nomad, and then so then after that, we were gonna go to Yak and Yeti and line out the door, and I'm like, all right, we're gonna have to pull our Landry's card out because you do get premier seating. But at this point, I tell Jeremy to stand in line, which is outside the door. And I'm like, let me just go look at the bar. There's only 6 seats at the bar. And there was 3 available.
Yeah, never
And
seen
I was
that.
like, what? So I was like, Jeremy! And he came in and we sat at the bar and it was amazing.
Yeah.
And got our ahi tuna nachos, which, oh God, those things are the best ever.
They're so good. And
Ever.
We've never tackled them, just the two of us, and we finised them. And then actually got some pot stickers afterwards.
We did.
Because this was going to be our lunch.
Yes. And I was still a little bit hungry. So yeah, it was super good.
It was. Oh, so good. And Corey, one of the bartenders there, he gave us, we didn't ask for it because normally you're supposed to have the secret phrase for the Disney Day Drinkers Club, the D3, because they have their own secret menu that I think he said there's like 6 bartenders had developed this secret menu. Corey even built the website for it. So they handed us a QR code that we scanned.
Super cool.
Really good inventive drinks on there. He actually was
Expensive.
testing a new one out. They're very, very, very expensive.
Enchanted Rose like prices.
This is giving Enchanted Rose a run for its money. I mean, I had the Fall in Nepal, which is kind of like an old fashioned. And then he was actually working on a new drink. And he was like, do you want to taste it? And I said, yeah. And so I took a sip and I was like, yeah, I'll take one of these. He's thinking about calling, I think, Campfire S'mores or something Campfire.
Like
it had like it had a smoky flavor to it and a little bit of chili like on the back end. These are $24 each. And did not know there are no prices on the secret menu. So just be aware, but there are some really, really good drinks on there. From here we headed over to Epcot. We had some friends that were in town. Their daughter was actually singing in the candlelight processional that evening. So we hopped over to see them and grab a drink at Rose and Crown. And it was one of those times where you're just like, this is why you have an annual pass.
Yeah.
Like we literally went to Epcot to have a drink with friends and leave. And just the ability to do that is super cool. And, honestly, when you look at the price of adding a park hopper on your regular date-based tickets or package or whatever, it's not awful, but I think it's so good for things like this. It's just, and especially, this is the busiest time of year. It's so funny to me. I keep seeing on social media, everybody seems so shocked that it's busy. There's a 330-minute wait for a Flight of Passage today. Well, I don't know if they're shocked, but everybody's just, look at the crowds. Yeah, I know.
After Christmas, and it's Christmas break.
Literally
for a
the
ton of people.
busiest time of the year.
Absolutely.
330-minute wait for Flight of Passage today.
I hope everybody remembers that when the kids were, this was like, what? Help me. You're probably better at this with my memory. 10? Let's see. She's almost 16. 10 years ago is maybe not exaggerating when we were there for New Year's.
Yeah. That would have been probably 12. Yep. We went for New Year's Eve.
12 years ago.
Yep.
And literally they closed Magic Kingdom at 10 a.m. because it was filled to capacity. Yeah. People were sleeping. This was years ago where it was at the
phase where you couldn't leave. Like now they factor in much more. Like I don't think they're going to get to that phase again where it's like if you leave you can't come back.
People were sleeping in stores.
Yeah.
I
saw a grown man sleeping in a stroller.
Yep. Everywhere. It was
nuts.
crazy. It was crazy. And you had cast members like on like a roadway where if you're going north, you got to be in this side. If you're going south walking, you have to be on this side. They'll make you move over.
They're literally directing traffic on certain sides of the road.
Insane.
Yeah.
So that this really doesn't surprise me.
No, not at all. But again, it's one of the reasons, I mean, we have the Incredipass for 2 reasons. One, we just can't afford to have blackout dates with doing the podcast. We just, and we want to be able to go on a Christmas. We want to be able to, if all of a sudden we decided, let's go for New Year's Eve, we could. We don't worry after being blocked out. But 2, when you are a pass holder or local, whatever, and you have Incredipass, there isn't the pressure. Like it's amazing to walk into Epcot at the busiest time of year and go, I'm just here for a drink.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to leave,
Yeah.
and you're not pressured or feel that to do things.
Yeah.
And I understand there's some people, there's no other time they can go.
Right.
They have to go this
Right.
week. But be prepared.
Yeah.
And this is the time. I know it's a lot more expensive. Genie Plus is going to be worth it. If you're sitting there or an individual lightning lane, if you're going, well, I'm not going to spend $20 a person for an individual lightning lane for Flight of Passage, and then you wait 5 hours, you're just doing it wrong. I know you don't want to pay that extra money, but what could you be doing instead in that 5-hour time period? Just buy the individual lightning lanes, get the Genie Plus. Let's talk about Drury Inn a little bit. We have stayed here before. We love it. Most recently, we stayed at the one over at Universal. They're all pretty much the same. What is something we learned this trip, though?
Ooh, I was super excited. Drury is a dog friendly.
Yeah.
So it is, though, just like Disney, and it is $50 a night for a dog. We do want to go back and take Stitch. I think that would be awesome.
That would be a lot of fun.
And then, so I like this Drury because it's newer. So it's just, I feel like everything's just so nicer about it. But it's just so amazing with the food that they give and the, kickback and the drinks, and it's just great.
And that's what we said before. We paid all in. It was a Florida resident rate. They do have Florida resident rates. They have annual pass holder rates. They have military rates. We got a king room deluxe with a balcony for $210, and then $25 parking. So
and that balcony was nice.
All in.
It wasn't like the Swan
scary
and Dolphin.
Swan and Dolphin death balcony. Just a little wimpy piece of concrete jutting out the side of a building
scary.
14 stories up. We're on the 7th floor. You can get a Disney Springs view for a little bit more. We just weren't planning on utilizing the balcony much, so we didn't bother. But room layout was really good, but weird, because it did have a couch and it did have a pull-out couch.
Yeah.
But the couch was opposite side of the king bed, but on the same side as the TV, so that you couldn't sit on the couch and watch TV.
Yeah, that was weird.
It was very awkward. That part I did not care for, but other than that, I mean, this is a nice, roomy room. Like Rhonda said, they're all
roomy
new.
room.
You said people-y earlier. That's how I'm going to describe. We're going to St. Augustine tonight to see Nights of Lights, and I want to break up and like,
too many.
Sure is people-y here. There's such a better way to say busy.
There's so many people.
Yeah, because busy could mean so many different things, but it's the actual amount of people that makes it people-y.
Yep.
And we've talked about before, if you do the math, we could have stayed on property at an All-Star for before taxes. I think the rate was $160, right? So let's just say taxes, you're $175, $180. You could save $40-$50, right? Over the price of what we paid at the Drury. But we specifically got there for kickback, which is a dinner.
It is.
Let's just say
literally there was mashed potatoes.
Yeah, tell everybody there was that. Night.
Chicken tenders, which were really good.
They were excellent.
There were some vegetables, like
steamed veggies. Like
there's always hot dogs. There's always
nacho bar.
I'm trying to remember. Oh, there was like gravy with the mashed potatoes. Because I was trying to remember.
I did mashed potatoes and I put chicken tenders on top, and then I put gravy on top of that.
Yes.
But let's just say one plate. Just say the dish I made. Right. What are you going to pay at a quick service? $12.99 at least. All right. So let's just say, let's be fair, say $13. The two of us, that's already $26. 3 legitimate beverages, whether it's beer, wine, or a mixed drink that they are mixing in front of you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Let's go on the a low end and say those are $10 each, which you're going to be hard pressed to find in Disney for a mixed cocktail. That's $30 each. And we've now done $60.
Yep.
Plus the food, we're at $86, right?
Yep.
Breakfast in the morning, again,
hot
eggs. That day they had eggs with feta and spinach in them. that you can make your own Mickey waffles, sausage,
Mickey waffles, and then biscuits and gravy.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
and then I put
gravy are good.
So good. I put the sausage on top of the biscuit, and then had sausage, biscuit, and gravy. And it's just, and there's fruit, and it is so much. And then I forgot to mention like the drinks too, that if you don't drink alcohol, plenty of like Coke products and teas, and then
fountain machine all day long.
Yeah, and then coffees, and it's good.
So
it's real good.
Add that price of a quick service breakfast for each of us. Just the two of us, we've made back over $100.
Yeah.
If we were to pay for all that
100%.
separately in the parks.
Yep.
Now, again, if this is one where you're not going to utilize it, it might not be worth it. It's still a very nice hotel. Very, very nice.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
It's a bit of a walk to Disney Springs, but we're okay with that. What do we time it at from the entrance at Disney Springs? 20 minutes?
I think so.
Yeah.
And that's me and you walking, and you do walk faster, and I walk faster when I'm with you. In fact, I know you've actually told me to slow down before, which is funny.
Yeah. But, I mean, this is a go-to. They have a rewards program you can sign up for and earn points. And from the Universal Studios one, very, very similar to this, but no parking fee there.
Right.
Which is interesting. But I love the Drury. This will be a go-to. Yeah. And usually the rates are 200 or under.
Yeah.
And so this will be one that will, and we just said we made up $100 as two people. Imagine if we had the kids with us.
Mm-hmm.
You know, now they're not taking advantage of the alcoholic beverages, but you're talking about basically
sodas
it's like buying a refillable mug at your resort. What are those, $18-19 each now?
Right.
So, MainSTMagicTravel.com. They can book the Drury. So go ahead and, make sure you check that out. And they'll check the rates if there's a special rate that you're, available for. So we're going to go head down to Disney Springs because it happened that Kat and Michael were going to be there this week.
Yep.
Our wonderful friends. And I found out like a week before. I just happened to hit up Michael and I was like, hey, when are you guys back in Disney? He's like, next week. And I was like, dude, we'll be there. We got to meet up. They are blacked out right now. So we're like, let's meet up in Disney Springs for the evening. He's like, great. So we went down to see them. You did bring back, you bought about 5-6 weeks ago, one of the Christmas balloons.
I did.
Right?
Yeah.
And it has
fun.
lasted very, very well.
Yeah.
But was starting to deflate a little bit.
Yep.
So.
And it hadn't been Christmas yet.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? I've been told. I've heard. So I did. And I had it in my bag, and I walked up, and it was
to the balloon people that are walking around selling the balloons at Disney Springs.
It was a little, I'm trying to set the scene here. It was a little darker. But this amazing cast member, and I do not remember his name right now.
Yeah, I can't think of it. I did not note it.
He actually looked, and before I could really speak, he said, we'll replace your balloon. And I was like, oh, and I got so excited. And then like he asked how long ago I bought it. And I ended up saying, I thought it was just a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
But the closer he looked at it, he then, and I literally said, listen, I am really truly doing this for information for our listeners. And I told him that what we do. And then he said, okay, then for information, and let everybody know that it is 1 week, that they don't usually replace a little after that. And I mean, if it does as well as mine, and
yeah, if you have a week vacation and you buy it day one, it's going to last the whole week most likely.
Absolutely. But it's also one of those things where it doesn't hurt, but their rules are, and if you lose it, you do have to go to guest relations, even if like you have your receipt or whatever. If they refund, it'll be to a card, not to a gift card.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So anyways, with all that being said, I was super, super excited. And it's weird because right then and there, he just cuts it up and like he trashes it. And he gives me a brand new one, which is great because you are spending $29, which is super funny because too, I don't have a stroller. I am an adult most of the time. And at one point I was going to bring it, and Jeremy was like, what are you going to do with it when we would go on the rides? And I'm like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah. So we decided not to take it into Animal Kingdom or Epcot because we didn't know if we were riding or what we were doing. But
yeah, so for those of you that do buy a balloon or want a balloon, yeah, that's some good information.
And I'd hold on to your receipt just to be safe.
Yeah.
if you're going to be there for a bit, and it's amazing that they'll do that. So we met Kat and Michael at Homecoming, and we sat at the outside bar there, and what we were starting to find out with Nomad, the Yak and Yeti bar, Homecoming, all of a sudden it clicked, and I was like, not so much Homecoming, not so much the bars at Disney Springs, but we're like, busy time of year, blockout dates, no locals want to be anywhere near this place.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, Nomad is a very locals bar.
Mm-hmm.
Yak and Yeti bar, locals. Homecoming, like these are where a lot of the locals go. So they're all staying away. Therefore, all of them were dead. Same thing. Not a single person sitting at the outdoor bar at Homecoming. Yeah. So we sat there for a while and had drinks. Mm-hmm. And then we were like, all right, well, what do we want to do next? And we were talking about going back to Riviera where they were staying and all. And then I think it was Kat that was like, what about Enzo's Hideaway? And, we had just eaten there recently and absolutely loved it. Good. So same thing. We walked in. Now, the bar was full, but there were tons of high top tables available. So we were sat right away. Yep. We had some drinks. We got the focaccia della casa, which is this incredible house-made focaccia, whipped ricotta.
So good.
Which was amazing with lemon extra virgin olive oil, sea salt, cracked pepper for $14.
So good.
This was delicious. Yep. This is not your standard focaccia.
No.
Like, you're thinking of more of like a flatter like bread. This was almost like dough balls that have been put in a skillet, almost like a pull-apart bread. So you could actually pull individual pieces of the focaccia away. Yeah. And it was absolutely delicious. One of the things we learned, and that's where if you go back and listen to my episode with John Self last week, is that Disney's menus are not often up to date online because they have a hazelnut old fashioned that I really like here. It is no longer available on their printed menu, but it is still on their online menu. And then
wasn't my limoncello or something not there?
Yep. That was so. There were a lot of discrepancies in the two menus, and that's where
a little sad.
Yeah, well, that's where DisneyFood.guide that's going to be launching here in early 2024. John's job literally is to go every week and make sure that their menus on their site at DisneyFood.guide are up to date with what's actually happening in the parks, the resorts, the restaurants, and everything.
That's perfect.
That's awesome. It's going to be really super cool. Yeah. So that was almost kind of like the only thing we'd eaten since ahi tuna nachos.
And we're at Disney Springs. We're heading back
to Disney or to Drury. We're at Disney Springs. Where do you think we're stopping? None other than Pizza Ponte.
So good.
Oh, it is so good.
How many pieces did we get? Like 4?
We got 3. So we got a cheese, we got a pepperoni, and then I think we got their big Roman. And just
it's my favorite.
Oh, went back to the room, just sat,
chowed down
on pizza. And then the next morning we had a little bit of leftovers and I had a couple bites of cold pizza.
I did not.
For me personally, I think it's my favorite pizza on property. Like I would put it up against Via Napoli.
Yeah.
I love this. And if I can go in and just get a slice and go, and I think the accessibility makes me like it so much more. The pizza window outside of Via Napoli is not the pizza they're serving inside. If it was, I think Via Napoli is a contender. But Via Napoli, you got to, you need to make a reservation or do a walk up, and you need to sit down, and it's a lot just to order a good pizza. But here, and the fact that you can go here and go, I want 4 slices and 4 different slices.
Yep.
And try them all. Oh, I absolutely love Pizza Ponte so much.
Yes, it was really good.
So next day, decided to go to Hollywood Studios. And I don't know if just the bar and lounge gods were with us, or it truly is that, locals are staying away. But we're in Hollywood Studios and we're walking, and we weren't really planning to like really ride stuff because again, it's busy. But we're just like, let's just walk through. And I told Ron, I said, I don't feel like we've walked through Galaxy's Edge in a while. Like, let's go walk through Galaxy's Edge. And we're walking by and I'm like, wouldn't it be funny if we could just go to Oga's right now? And so I look up to join the walk-up list, and it says a 5-minute wait.
Yep.
I'm like, I'm sorry, what? So I hit join.
Yep.
We're like, all right, we got 5 minutes. I said, let's just go to that one store down here. We haven't been in there in a while. And literally you get a text that's like, your table's ready.
Yep. And then we walked in and it was so empty.
There was room to swing a cat in there.
Okay.
I mean, seriously, when we first walked in, I could have put my arms out and twirled.
And not touch anybody.
While moving. And not have touched another human being.
Yeah. Yep.
I've never seen it like that.
It was very weird and strange.
It was incredible.
It was neat. It was neat to be back in there. We haven't done that in a very long time. It was nice to have a drink. Fuzzy tauntaun is what I got.
I always
which
get the
is
jet
such
juice.
a morning, like, almost like to me a mimosa like situation.
Yeah.
It was really good.
And we know the drinks here are expensive. We know that they're pre-made, but you're not truly going here for the drinks. You're going for the experience.
Yeah.
And it's always such a wonderful experience. Our bartenders were great.
Yep.
Like, we just had such a good time. We had to stand at the bar.
Yeah.
But
it's fine.
Absolutely loved it. And you're right. I don't think we'd been in there in a year or something.
It's been a while.
So it was wonderful. So from there, we knew we had a 1:30 reservation at Summer House, which we actually booked through Open Table because at the time that they went live, which was about a week prior or so, and they'd only been open for a week now, they were not available on Disney's site. You had to go to Summer House's website or you had to go to Open Table. So I booked and I hit up Jess and Landon from Vacation Grocery Delivery, who have become such good friends of ours. And it's becoming kind of a thing now where we're like, hey, we'll be there. We're thinking about like grabbing something to eat. Y'all want to come? We're going to grab a drink. Y'all want to come? And most every time they're like, yes, let us get our work done. And so I messaged her a week before and I was like, I know 1:30 on a Friday is not going to be ideal for your guys' schedule, but I wanted to throw the invite out there. And she was like, let me check with Landon, see what it's like. Came back 5 minutes later, was like, book it. Let's do it. So we were going to meet them there to have lunch at 1:30. Talk about Summer House before we get to the food part. Just talk about your general first impression.
First of all, it's gorgeous. It's really just so pretty. Like walking past it, walking up, very, very summer house on the lake-ish. Like the feel of it, like very open.
It transports you.
It really does.
I didn't feel like we were sitting at Disney Springs.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Yeah.
There's what's really nice to note too, and I think I feel like now with building, they're doing more of this, which is fantastic. But there's actually 2 bars in there.
Yeah.
So, usually most bars are first come, first serve. So if you're looking and you can't get, a dining, then, walk up and see if you can get at a bar. And because they usually always do the menu and everything, full menu. So, but it was elegant without feeling like I was underdressed or overdressed. But it was just so super nice.
That's a great way to put it. It's comfortable. And it's comfortably fancy. So I love this atmosphere. Like just walking in, I was like, we haven't even had the food yet. I'm sure the drinks are good, but we will come back here and sit at the bar just for this atmosphere and just for a drink, even if it turned out the food stunk or something.
100%.
Which it didn't.
Right.
So we had Carissa as our waitress, who I will say I think is one of the top 5 servers we've ever had.
Okay.
She was unbelievable.
She was
so
You're
good.
Just so funny
she was knowledgeable. I put her up there with Alfred and Mike at Topolinos. And that's where, like, when I can just remember their names, I mean, shoot, Jamie and Carol at Three Bridges. I mean, just those 5 right there have been some of the best service we've ever had. And that's before we knew Jamie and Carol. Like, they were just outstanding servers. So, Carissa was absolutely amazing. But they have a very broad menu.
Yeah.
Right? Where you can get everything from signature guacamole to salmon poke nachos. You can get sashimi. There's salads. There's a sandwich section, a taco section, a pasta section, pizza section, and then summer comfort.
But not like a ton in it. You're not looking at like a.
This isn't like a Cheesecake Factory.
Right. This is a pizza section with only 5 pizzas.
Yeah, like 3 different sandwiches, 3 different tacos, 3 different pastas.
Right.
But
so
but I like that because here's what they're probably doing is saying, look, we can offer something for everyone, but we're just going to focus on what we can do really, really well. Right. There's no need to have a dozen different sandwiches.
Correct, and which is good.
Yeah, it's very good. Let's talk about drinks first. Well, what did you have? I know that Landon got the jalapeno business.
He did.
Yeah, and he likes things super duper spicy.
He did, and he didn't feel like this was really spicy.
Yeah.
I actually had Tropical Dreams. It is sunny vodka lime and habanero honey. First of all, this drink is beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
But second of all, it was fantastic. Excuse me. And that habanero honey made it for a very nice kick that I actually was like, wow. And I was like, Landon, taste this one. And he was like, oh, wow. He really liked it.
Yeah, that was more of the heat he wanted in
think
his.
so. Oh my God. I was only having one. We were driving home later and I just would have had probably more. So I'm excited to go back because I would. And this is only $14. So that's not bad either.
It's actually a shockingly good price for that one.
I would definitely get this again because it was just so good.
Yeah. I had the Endless Summer Old Fashioned. This is Brothers Band whiskey, lemon and orange bitters for $15. Good old fashioned.
Yeah.
Like they have wines by the glass. What's actually nice, they have some 0 proof mocktails.
Yeah.
Like Pineapple Kick, which is pineapple, orange, and jalapeno agave. Strawberry Fields is strawberry, sage, and lavender.
And which was really cool because Carissa also said if you would like any of those and to spike them, you can.
Yeah.
Jessica had the lavender haze.
Yeah.
It's gin, blueberry, lavender, and lemon for $15. And it was she's just like, it's good. She did not like it, but she's just like, it's very blueberry. Do you want to taste it? And I was like, no, it's okay. Just because I totally trusted her. And sometimes I don't like too much sweet, but
right. Yeah. They've got, and all of their drinks, they have a frosé. All of their drinks are they're very summer geared. We've been talking recently about, we ordered drinks like when we did Enzo's Hideaway for lunch, we're in like a dark basement, hideaway, and you got a drink that feels like you should sit by the pool.
Yeah.
Like, all of these are drinks that you want to be sitting by the pool. You want to be sitting by the lake. Like they're all very summery.
Absolutely.
And yeah, I'm excited to go back and try some other stuff there. They do have some starters like warm edamame. They've got a jalapeno cornbread that I've heard good things about. I really want to get next time.
Walk by.
Yeah. Cheesy dream puffs, which have rosemary and pepper.
Sounds good.
Sounds good. Prime beef meatballs. They've got truffle fries. Carissa recommended the potato salad deviled eggs for $9.95. Lan and I both are like, we don't do deviled eggs. So if the girls want to do it, let's go ahead and order it. And you did.
We did because so this is $10 for 3 of them. You can add a 4th one. I can't remember how much she said, but you can have a 4. So like, for example, if we all did eat deviled eggs, each of us could have had one, but we were like, no, we'll just do the 3. Jess and I both ate 1 and then we split the last one. I really, really like these. At first, when I tasted it, I didn't think of it as being a potato salad, but then the second one, I got the understanding of it because
like, are they trying to say it's the flavors of a potato salad, but it's not as though they were like pieces of potato in it, correct? Okay.
I thought
that's what confused me.
I thought it was going to be a little chunky or a little whatever. I think I expected more of like a potato salad type. Like maybe they just took the yolk, made a potato salad, and then put it on top and like a deviled egg.
Right.
But no, the second one, but they were fantastic. Like I would absolutely 100% get them again. And knowing that there's only 3.
Would you get them if just you and I were like sitting at the bar and you'd eat all 3?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
That's good to know.
I like that there's only 3.
Yeah.
Like homecoming, I would love to get them, but I think there's like 6.
3 is an interesting number. To have an odd number with any dish always intrigues me.
Well, and it's just so funny because I think of like when we go to Russ and Claire's and he has them. Like I want 1 or 2. I don't want 3, 4, or 5.
Right.
Like, I mean, you eat 2 and you're eating a whole freaking egg.
Right. Yeah.
Like,
and then some because of the extra stuff and all mixing in it.
So, I mean, yeah, I like, and I wish more places because I know you don't like them.
Right. Would so I possibly have liked these? Because there have been some. Remember, like I actually liked the ones at Jock Lindsay's, the holiday ones. Would I have liked these, or was there too much kind of like mustard and stuff like that going on in it?
I'd have to taste them again.
Okay, well then you're going to have to do that just for the sake of research.
Because there's a lot of times when I eat something for me, and then I have to eat something for you, and I have to really see if that flavor stands out. Where. Like, yeah. So I don't.
Okay.
I ate them for me. Sorry.
Well, one of the other things that we ordered was their signature guacamole.
Mm-hmm.
So this is house-made tortilla chips, Hass avocado, cilantro, pico, charred tomato salsa, and a habanero verde. So the pico, the charred tomato salsa, and the habanero verde come on the side.
Mm-hmm.
They're like little dippers. This is $17.95,
Mm-hmm.
which is a lot.
It
if you
is.
want to make it even more, though, you can add Dungeness crab for $12.95, making this a $30 guacamole.
Mm-hmm. It does say yes to crabby.
Yeah.
Add Dungeness crab for $12.95.
This is worth every single penny of $17.95, even if that is a little high.
Mm-hmm.
And I still kind of think it is, especially because it's not like it's made table side.
Right.
I think that could warrant the $17.95 price tag. This was perfect guacamole.
Yeah.
It was absolutely perfect guacamole. And that habanero verde,
Oh my goodness.
Landon tasted it and was just like, "Oh my God, this is the best thing I've ever had." And I'm like, "Okay, settle down." And I tasted, it was like, "Whoa, this is."
He
like,
wanted
we were just
to
dipping
buy
chips.
It.
Yeah.
Yep.
He asked Chris, he's like, "Do you guys sell this?"
Yeah.
And she's like, "Well, let me see what I can do for you." So actually, and it's a good portion of guacamole.
It is. It's very. All four of us ate some of it, and there was still left over.
Yeah.
And we were driving home, and I was like, I'm not going to eat it. And I was like, Jessica, y'all take it. And she's like, are you sure? And I was like, absolutely. So they did take it.
And then Carissa brought a whole big fresh bag of chips with it,
mm-hmm.
and
Landon
some of the habanero verde in a container. Yep. I was a little bit jealous. I almost said,
really?
"Can I get one of those too?" But I felt bad because that stuff was
he loved it.
Outstanding.
Yeah.
Like, we can get into some other stuff in here, like we'll talk about, but there's some things on this item that I could see being like, can I get a side of that habanero verde? Because I want to put it on this sandwich or whatever it may be.
Yeah, there you go.
And I think it would be so good. So it is nice. They have a whole veggie section.
Mm-hmm.
So if you are vegan,
mm-hmm.
this is going to be a really great spot for you because they've got caramelized Brussels sprouts, they've got shishito peppers, grilled avocado,
mm-hmm.
and they have a wood grilled artichoke.
I bet that's good.
That sounds super good. Like, I like artichoke if it's done properly.
Lemon, herb, and aioli for $16.95. That sounds real good. I'll have to do one of those the next one.
I know. Like, going back through this menu, I'm just very much like, when are we going back? Like, because there's so much stuff I want to try.
Yeah.
And we can't do it next Friday because we're going to go eat by Manit. That's where we're going for lunch next Friday when we're there.
Are you
Because
sure?
we need to hit
Just
up
kidding.
eat. They have a raw and chilled section. This is one I really want to try, an ahi tuna and watermelon tostado.
Mm-hmm.
Like I mentioned, the salmon poke nachos, hamachi sashimi, classic shrimp cocktail for $19.95. I bet is good. I bet they're bigger than Boathouse over
and
there.
I'd like to know how many there are because $20 kind of is a little high.
Yeah. But you
we'll
remember what's the price of it over at Space 220? Isn't it 4 shrimp and it's like $24 or something?
Okay.
It's like $6 a shrimp or something over at Space 220.
Okay.
Again, well worth it. They're huge, but they do have salads, like a house salad. They've got a Costa Mesa with queso fresco and corn and pico and all. Kale and cashew salad with a roasted cashew vinaigrette. Sounds interesting.
Yep.
And they've got a Buena Vista Cobb salad.
Yes.
Any of these, you can add grilled chicken, crispy chicken, salmon, tuna, or steak for an upcharge.
Yep.
What did you go with? Was this recommended to you by Carissa? Or
yes,
you just thought it sounded interesting?
Because it was between this. Well, actually, the kale and cashew sounded really good. And I was like, but I was thinking of the Cobb only because of Brown Derby. And I was like, all right, do I get this? So I looked at her and I said, so there's a shaved Brussels sprouts with manchego, bacon, avocado, toasted almonds, green peas, and mustard vinaigrette for $19.95. And she immediately was like, shaved Brussels sprouts. And I was like, I love Brussels. So I was like, perfect. I'll take it. She was like, do you want to add? And I was like, well, and I said, what do you suggest? Since she suggested that. And she said salmon. And I kind of turned my nose up. I kind of realized I don't love salmon.
Yeah, we don't.
If you give me a choice between chicken, tuna, and steak, and then salmon, I'd pick everything before salmon.
But Carissa was great because she immediately was just like, oh, nope, then do not get the salmon.
Yeah.
Like, she wasn't going to try and talk you into it. Like, you've never had salmon like this before.
Right.
You should try it. It was, and that's why she was just so wonderful.
But I know that somewhere like this is going to do something well. So I was like, I think I'm going to do the tuna for $9.95. So that did make my dish a $30 salad. Yeah. But oh my goodness, it was fantastic. I ate almost all of it. The tuna was just completely perfect. Nice little sear on the outside, raw on the inside, and just It was really fresh and so good and clean. Like, that is what we left here. I feel like feeling like nothing was heavy and just where we just drove for 2 hours and it's not like, oh, hang on, I got to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean,
nice.
we tend to not do a big sit down lunch like this before we're driving home. We just don't.
Correct.
Because we don't like to stop if anything goes awry. But yeah, you even had me taste it because you said it's not mustardy like the vinaigrette.
I did. Yeah.
And I actually enjoyed it. It's super just fresh.
Because I did take that bite for you because you were like, you were thinking to not taste it. And then I was like, wait a minute. It's a mustard vinaigrette? I don't even taste anything. So I really tasted it again. And I was like, I think you're going to be fine. So you tasted it and liked it. So yay.
I'd like to do that kale and cashew salad or do the Buena Vista Cobb and maybe add steak or something to either one
I
of those.
do want to do this Cobb probably the next time I go back because I really want to see how it holds up to Brown Derby.
Yeah. That's going to be tough to beat. That's for
sure.
Again, like we mentioned, they have a taco section. They've got like a tequila lime chicken, crispy fish tacos, carne asada. Over on the sandwich side, which is what Jess and Landon did, they have a prime cheeseburger, which that's one I would say, look, no mayo, no mustard, no pickle. Give me a side of the habanero verde.
Yeah,
put
there
it
you
on
go.
Here. The crispy chicken sandwich I had heard really good things about. That's what Landon ordered.
Yes.
This is avocado, buttermilk dressing, lettuce, and then fries for $18.95. And he absolutely loved it.
Yeah.
I think he said it was one of the best chicken sandwiches he's ever had. And it's funny because it looks very unassuming. It doesn't look like it would be the best chicken sandwich, but everyone I've seen so far that has had this has absolutely loved it.
Nice.
And then Jess went with the turkey stack, and I've really been wanting a club sandwich lately. For $18.95, this is Havarti, lettuce, tomato, mayo, grain mustard, bacon, 9-grain bread, and then fries that she turned into truffle fries.
She did.
And what we've been finding out is, you and I as well, is we don't really love truffle.
You don't.
I don't really love truffle.
I think I like it.
But when it's overpowering, like a cowfish, it was way too much truffle.
Yeah.
A nice light bit, I think, is good, and she really enjoyed these fries. They look like pretty standard fries, like kind of thin cut fries. But this sandwich was huge. She took half of it home with her.
Yeah.
I mean, it was really a stack, like layered high. It looked super fresh, delicious, and she loved it.
So, Jeremy, why did you not go with a taco? Because you always love tacos.
I love tacos because went over to the pastas, and I'm like, I'm not coming to Summer House on the Lake and getting pasta. That's silly. They have a rigatoni alla vodka. Sounds great. Spaghetti pomodoro. Sounds good. And then I see the Angry Crab bucatini with Dungeness crab and Calabrian chili. $38.95. And I'm like, shoot, I have to get it. It's got crab in it. And I love Dungeness crab.
Yep.
We lately buy Dungeness crab clusters, and I cook them in butter, garlic, parsley, a little bit of Old Bay, and they're absolutely amazing. This is the third highest priced dish on here. When you get down to Summer Comfort, they do have a center cut filet mignon for $52.95. Which I bet is so good.
I bet it's good too.
They got skirt steak frites. They've got a grouper fish and chips, which I know you kind of looked at, but we don't love grouper.
Correct.
So if this had been cod, I think you probably would have gotten it. Yeah, and that's $35.95.
Yeah.
They got a barbecue glazed salmon. I will say, if I was gonna try salmon again, that sounds like a good one. It comes with cheesy grits.
You like salmon
when it's done properly and perfectly, which I just don't find a lot.
Okay.
I had, when we went to Vegas for like a retreat thing once with my brother, and he had rented like a private house and a private chef that came in and prepared all our meals. And that chef made a teriyaki salmon one night that was unbelievable.
Yeah.
But if you go to a place like I'm not going to go to TGI Fridays and get the salmon.
Yeah.
At an upscale place like this, I can see doing it.
100%.
But there's a million other items I'd rather eat than salmon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like this is one where I wish you could go and do a taste of Summer House.
Yeah.
You know, and maybe you pay an amount and you get like 8 samples of stuff and you get a bite of the salmon. They have Picnic fried chicken basket for $24.95. And their famous herbed chicken breast with arugula salad and chilies for $22.95. All right, let's get back to the Angry Crab.
I was just trying to say, let's talk about
bucatini.
yours. Yeah.
It's a good portion.
Uh-huh.
There is crab throughout.
Uh-huh.
Not only is there actual pieces of meat, which there could be more, don't get me wrong, but the flavor of the Dungeness crab is throughout the entire sauce. The pasta was cooked perfect. The bucatini, those thicker kind of noodles. I didn't get much chili. It had no heat to it.
Mm-hmm.
But I really, really loved this.
It was so clean.
It was so light. I ate an entire bowl of pasta, and I could have eaten more.
Yeah.
You know, it was just so well done. And it was like, and the focus was really on the crab and cooking the pasta perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't a bunch of extra crap in it. It's not like it then had, basil or parsley sprinkled on top, or they tried to do a drizzle of some oil or anything. It was just, It was a really, really good Italian dish.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if you say, where should I go get a really good Italian dish? I'm not going to put this on the top of my list.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you to go to like Trattoria or, or Enzo's, things like that. But this was really good and surprising, I think.
Good.
And so I'm glad I got it. I would only not ever get it again. One, because it's $40.
Yeah.
And two, because there's a lot of other things, obviously, on this menu that we really, really want to try.
Yeah.
We're not done.
Oh, yeah.
They have a cookie bar.
They do.
She asked if we wanted to see the dessert menu, and Rhonda was like, well, I think on the way out, we're going to get some cookies to take home. And Carissa was like, I'll bring you the menu. You can order them from me, and we'll bag them up and bring them to you. Do you remember what all we got? Okay.
Yeah,
got a lot.
Do you have a thing on here?
Yeah.
Or...
Do I look like someone that would be unprepared?
Not at all.
We did just pause the recording because I had to look up the cookie bar menu because I forgot. But we got it in front of us. So I think Rhonda can go through.
I can. 100%.
Most all of these are $4.95 each.
Yes.
There's a couple that are $5.45, but basically $5 a cookie.
Yeah. And with that being said, we were coming home to my parents coming that night, meeting them here, but technically, and then the very next night, my in-laws were going to be
and
here.
The kids. I mean,
obviously the kids.
Yeah, so we're gonna have a full house for the whole Christmas weekend.
So I started going down, and I was like, I would like 2 sea salt chocolate chip, please. I would like a lemon, a birthday cake, an M&M, an apple oatmeal, 2 peanut butters, ginger snap. And that was it on the cookies. Now they also have white Rice Krispies. They have,
dude, brown butter Rice Krispie treat. I bet that
cookies,
is outstanding.
and then they have a cookies and cream Rice Krispie treat, or crispy treat as they call it. So I can't remember. She suggested like one of those, and I was like, yeah, let's do that for the kids.
Yeah, the cookies and cream.
Mm-hmm, the Rice Krispie treat. And then they do have a brownie. They do have gluten-free chocolate chip. They have a vegan snickerdoodle, a fudge bomb, double chocolate cloud, oatmeal Scotty. And then these are things I'm reading that I did not get: a crispy chocolate chip, a walnut chocolate chip, and a regular chocolate chip. But that sea salt chocolate chip was fantastic. And it really wasn't like my in-laws ate it, and it wasn't like they were like, ooh, why does this taste a little salty?
Salty.
So, and they have a blondie as well for a brownie. Brownie and then a blondie. So
what do you think over all of these cookies? I know everybody's going to want to say, well, do you get this or do you get Gideon's? There's not an answer to that.
There's not.
They're 2 completely different cookies.
They are. These to me are more like your traditional cookies.
Yep. Just big
and soft. Like, I like that. I don't like a crispy cookie. I'm sorry. I don't. So the only thing I think it has in common with Gideon's is really they're more on the softer side.
Yeah.
Which to me it's perfection. Like, but it's not big and thick and got a whole bunch of stuff in it. It was good.
Yeah,
it was
I really
good.
Them.
I really liked him too.
I think you're saying traditional. Yeah, I think you're saying traditional is the right way to put it. It's much more of like what you think, just in a bigger size of what you make at home.
Yeah.
And if it's going to be much more accessible than Gideon's. I can tell you that too.
Yeah.
I mean, I think if you go there and you're like, I really want something sweet, I want a cookie. Oh, Gideon's is crazy. You go over here. If you put the 2 in front of me, I'm going to pick Gideon's.
Really?
Overall, I think. Just because I think they can tend to get much more inventive.
Yeah.
When you look at like their one with the pistachios and stuff, So I think they win on being more inventive.
Okay.
But this is kind of like when I've talked about the Stack Burger over at Steakhouse 71. I don't compare it to other burgers on property because it's so different.
Okay.
I'm not going to say, all right, which is better, the Stack Burger or the Bison Burger at Geyser Point? Well, the Stack Burger is better as a Stack Burger, and the Bison Burger is better as a Bison Burger. But neither one is better than the other because they're so different. And I think that's how these cookies compare. But it's amazing. I mean, you can walk right up to a cookie bar. You can grab some cookies to go. You can get yourself a drink. Go walk around Disney Springs. Like, I really, really enjoyed this place. It is going to go into our rotation. Yeah. I think for sure, especially like you mentioned when you talk about like the bar area.
Yeah, that was super
Being
cool.
able just to walk right in. But I think this will be super neat to go, and sit outside maybe next time if we don't sit at the bar, like do some outdoor seating right there on the water.
That would be cool.
And there's a million items. I would try most everything that's on the menu. Like there's nothing on the menu that I'm just like, no, I would never get that. Okay. So I think it'll be a place that'll definitely have a lot of repeatability. And the atmosphere really is not like anything else you find on Disney property currently.
Yeah.
It's
really
cool. Next time we go, I'm going to wear my new Tommy Bahama pants and my white linen shirt, and I'm going to be right at home at Summer House on the Lake. I'm going to.
Okay. Are you going to get me a Vera Bradley dress then?
No.
Why?
Is that what you would wear there? What's the other one I'm thinking of? That real popular. Yeah. Shoot. Now I can't remember what it's called. Anyway. Okay. Thank you all so much for listening. Wish us luck in downtown St. Augustine tonight for Nights of Lights because it is going to be very people-y.
It probably will be.
Next episode will be our 2023 year in review, as well as what we're looking forward to in 2024. We do have a trip to Farts coming up. That opens soon on the 12th. Woo! We'll be there on the 13th. We're super excited for that. And we have more details, I promise. It's coming very soon on Main Street 16 Challenge. You can still go to mainstreet16.com. You can go ahead and get your room booked at Malia, Orlando, and Celebration. But we will have more details about some of the other things like the Friday night trivia and some meetups and all of that coming very soon. So please stay tuned. Holidays have definitely gotten in the way of a lot of the work that all of us have been doing on it. So that is coming. Anywho, as long as you're out there, you want these brand new episodes every Tuesday and Friday, which will feature Rhonda. Much more coming up. I'm glad to have you back, babe. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you can get those new episodes. And of course, we would be super duper thankful if you could leave us a rating and review.
Because it helps our show grow.
That's all we've got. We'll see you real soon.
Jeremy and Rhonda are more than a little fond of Disney World, so they made this podcast to share it all with you. Reports and resorts, top 10 lists of all sorts. Main Street Magic's bringing it home for you.